Hi guys, and welcome to Xmage Players podcast. This is episode 3, and today I'm joined with a super special guest. I know him as Des on his Discord. You guys probably know him as Desolator Magic on his YouTube channel. Thank you, Desolator, for joining me today.
Oh, always a pleasure. This is going to be a blast.
So just touching on the first topic of how long have you been playing Magic, and how long have you been a content creator for YouTube?
Well, see, that's where I surprise people constantly, because you look at every other creator, they've been playing for like 20 years. I have been playing for roughly 5 years, since roughly M13. And, I mean, I got into it pretty hard. I wasn't a casual player, but still, that's not very long, and it comes up. Because people are like, remember this? I'm like, no, I didn't play back then, and they're just shocked. But as far as content creation, I actually made my YouTube channel in 2006, but I just uploaded like random dumb stuff to it. And then I resurrected it about 3.5 years ago to do Magic content. So, yeah, so both of them are not as long as people think.
So you weren't expecting it to be as successful as it has been?
Not at all. That wasn't even the intention. I literally just thought on a whim, hey, I should do a couple Magic videos and see if they can get some views. And I had no plan of what to do if they got views and I got subs, and then I did, and then I was just like, oh, I guess I'll keep making it. So I just accidentally got roped into it. Very strange.
Prior to the release of Magic the Gathering Arena, Xmage seemed to be your go-to program, as at least looking at your videos. Why Xmage, and do you still use it since the release of Arena?
I do, yeah. I mean, the longer you get into Arena, the more you can kind of build what you want because of spare wildcards. Like, before the massive reset wipe, I had like 150 wildcards I wasn't using, and I never paid them a penny. But early on, oh my gosh, I played Arena a little bit. I'm like, this is stupid. I want to test a deck. I want to get something solid and tested for F&M. I'm going back to Xmage. So the fact that it's free, it's fast, and you can still build anything, I love it. Plus, obviously, the other formats. You know, you can play whatever format you want. And you can make, lobbies and play against friends, which up until recently you couldn't do in Arena. So, in my opinion, all around still the superior product. I don't mind the controls or having to do stuff manual in Xmage. I'm used to it. And that's how you play paper. So, in my opinion, it's still very much the better product. And I hope Arena doesn't, draw too many people away from it.
I actually had a group of friends that were all blatantly refusing to play Xmage. They're like, no, Xmage is trash, it doesn't work. And now they're all playing Commander on there regularly with me.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the fact that you could just build anything without having to drop the money on it. And Wizards knows that it's basically just deck building simulator. It is not a replacement for their product. It's not anything they need to go after. It's really simple. It's just, I will build more decks and buy more decks and build them in paper because of Xmage. It's really that simple. I think they know that. And if it wasn't Xmage, I'd be using Excel, which is what I was before. But I also want to playtest it. And I'm not going to drop $70 on a paper deck and then playtest it and decide, oh, I hate it. And then whoops, I'm out $70. Like, I'm going to test it online, and I'm not going to pay for it on MTGO or Arena. So I'm going to Xmage. And if I don't, I'm not building the deck. So it is driving customers to Wizards, and I think they know that. So I think overall it's a very positive thing.
So your choice to remain nameless, is that just for nameless and or faceless? Is that just for privacy? Is it a personal choice, or is it fear of harassment that's caused you to do that?
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but I did mention it a while ago on my channel that I am actually an artificial intelligence entity that lives in the YouTube server. So I actually don't have a name. That is true. That is a true story. No, actually, it's just I've seen what's happened to other people, and a lot of people, like a lot of YouTubers are like, they start at like 500 subs and they're like, who cares? I'm not going to get stalkers and death threats and crazy people coming after me. They're like posting photos and videos of their house and like telling people their last name and crap. They're like, I don't care. And then they get to like 500,000 subs and they got like crazy people coming after them. They got to try to, put the lid back on Pandora's box. So me right off the bat with what happened to me on other platforms, people threatening to kill me, people getting arrested, like it got weird. So right off the bat, I'm like, I am gonna take privacy seriously. So it's for safety. And it's not even like, oh, I can't take the harassment. Oh, I don't want people to, contact me in this way. Like, I don't care. I don't care. It's not like I even work somewhere if people are going to try that crap. But they go after people's family. Like what just happened with Jeremy and his moderator, where people are like contacting his parents and stuff to harass them. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to get my extended family involved in this crap, so I'm just like, right from the get-go, and I suggest this to every YouTuber or anybody on any platform, don't tell people your name and hide where you live. Just do it. And I've been removed from every public database, everything. I purposely spread misinformation. It's, and it's very worth doing, in my opinion, just for safety.
Just touching on a similar point, would naming yourself and revealing your identity not help your, you've said on a number of your videos that you actually have a shop. Would it not help advertise your shop?
Oh, that's the thing. It would. Like, I know people have constantly, like, we're talking like hundreds of people have messaged me on Twitter saying, hey, you said that you sell singles online. What's your, website, username, platform, whatever? I'm like, I just can't do it. I can't do it because it would reveal my return shipping address, which of course I could fake that. But there's just, there's certain things like, I sell on eBay. If they found that, they could file a fake, item not as described report to shut it down. And people would do that. I'm constantly getting attacked by a bunch of angry, psychotic hater stalker types, whatever. But on the flip side, like, would it benefit my channel to like throw a community event, to go to a GP, to attend it? Which would require telling people my first and last name, obviously. Yeah, it would be nice. So I very much feel the constrictions and kind of trapped by never being able to go anywhere, do anything, constantly got to hide my name from people, not get recognized, not do this, not do that. It's part of the reason I don't even show my face on my channel anymore. It's just, it's very much limits what I can do. And I know that I'd be able to expand. I'd be able to go to more things, do more things, sell more things. People would even pay a little tiny bit higher than absolute bare minimum for singles from me if I could tell them my shop. But I just can't. Yeah. I mean, it's like I would get the financial benefit up front and the ease of doing everything, and then I would get the consequences very shortly after. So it really, really, really sucks, and I do occasionally second guess it, but I'm still pretty confident I made the right decision, I guess.
So if you got invited by, say you got invited by the Command Zone to come play Commander, or by Prof to be a special guest, or one of the big streamers or content creators, and that there was like a cash incentive to do it, would you consider doing it then?
I would do it as long as none of them need my name. I mean, like would I do it just because that would be shocking and amazing? Yes. Do I need the notoriety? Cool. Not really. I think everybody's heard of me, but, it'd be kind of fun. But, like, there's certain people where I just, on principle, would not be on their channel. I would not associate with them in any way because they're just terrible people. But it's probably not who you're thinking. It's the worst of the worst. So, even if Professor was like, let's bury the hatchet and make a collab video, I'd probably do it. Whatever. Like, I don't stand by some of the stuff he's done, but the funny thing is, anybody who is associated with Wizards and is one of their, like, partners is literally not allowed to even talk to me at all by their own rules. This is what I've heard. They said, don't talk to him, don't respond to him on social media, don't do that. Like, if they blacklisted me, then their partners have to blacklist me, and they can't even acknowledge that I exist or mention me in a video in any way. They are ordered to specifically not do that. So, do I think it'll happen? No. But would I do it? Yeah. Like, I'm not one of those, it's our team versus their team, rawr. Like, there's certain things I won't tolerate, but other ones, it's just me, stepping up and being like, nah, I don't like what you're saying. I don't like what you're doing. But at the end of the day, I'm not like, you're dead to me, except for like 3 YouTubers.
Recently,
you're not one of them, Zanders, by the
way. Recently, you announced your intention to stop work and make YouTube a full-time job. Without exact details, is there really enough money in YouTube to be worth doing it?
Like, that's what I'm asking myself every day when I reconsider, is this a good idea? But the answer is, like, if I were to phrase it as, is this a smart idea? No. Do I make enough money to make it a smart idea and have a nice cushion? No. Do I have enough money in the bank to do this? No. So it is a bad decision. It's just there's more circumstances. Primarily my landlord needs the space back. Like, the owner of the building, actually, he needs the space. So he mentioned it to me, and I'm like, okay, cool. And that's at the same time as I'm getting really sick of running this business. I've ran it for 7 years. The customers are getting worse and worse. It's a really bad industry to be in right now. It's making less and less money every year. And it's just bad. So it's like, in some months, I actually lose money after putting in like 500 hours of work. It's like, well, what's the point of that, So like pre-Christmas and stuff, I make some money. But it just overall in the year, I'm making like $3,000-$4,000 profit in a good year, which is less than my YouTube channel makes. So I'm like, you know what, just cut it off and drop it. I'll try to make it work doing just YouTube because that's where my money comes from. But ooh, I do not make enough to make it a very safe or wise decision. But I got a couple side hustles, so you know, it's all good.
At a rough estimate, what do you think is the most you've earned from one video?
Oh, I actually checked. It's currently an unlisted video, but I'm very sure this is the highest grossing one. $655.43. So, but the problem is, it was right in the middle of the adpocalypse. That's when it got all of its views, and I didn't put mid-rolls on it, and a bunch of other stuff I could have done to make more. So, if people look at, I mean, it had just short of 400,000 views, and people are like, that's all you made on it? On like almost 500,000 views? It is lower than it should have been for two different reasons. It actually should have been between $1,000 and $1,500 if you hit that kind of view level, but it just wasn't. So, whatever. It wasn't a good video either. So, yeah. My top three videos, all three of them have either been removed by me or gotten a community guideline strike removed by YouTube. So, I lost over 1 million on my statistics, unfortunately.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that sucks.
If you actually look up how to install Xmage, yours is the video that pops up too. So I'm surprised that's not the most popular video.
Yeah, I know, right? It has a lot. I think it's like floating around 100,000. I thought, well, that's good for my channel. But I'm actually surprised I didn't delete it because me and Xmage had a little bit of a falling out when their European douchebag moderators both banned me from their server temporarily and then blocked me from their forums because I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm the #1 like recruiter for your platform and all I have is a couple beefs with you guys and your toxic community and this is how you treat me? So I was ready to just burn their whole thing to the ground and I made a video about it. You might have seen it. So still a little bit of animosity to certain members of the team who make Xmage and certain members of the community, but overall I still kind of like Xmage. So I guess I left it up. Also, it makes money, so they owe me at this point. I mean, I'm going to make some dollars off the video at least.
Do you favor some content over others specifically, or is it just whatever you feel like making it at the time?
You know, I really do. That's the thing. Like, and you might have noticed, like other channels, especially yours, it's like you tend to stick to like one thing. Like some people are like, we're just going to be a Dex channel, and that for like the YouTube algorithm, that's huge. That's really huge. Like if you only attract deck builders because you make deck tech videos, you're going to do really well because your subs are going to click on your videos a lot more often. For me, I mean, everybody's into MTG news and announcements and spoilers. Those get mad views. But if I make like an opinion piece or how to get better at Magic, you know, some people are like, I'm a pro player, I want a GP, like I don't need to watch this. And then they don't click on it. So it's not a great idea, but I mean, with the volume that I upload to make the money that I have to, unfortunately, because I need the money, I got to hit everything. I got to do everything. So there are certain topics and video types that I really don't like, but I make them anyway because I'm like, well, that's just what I should be covering today. I can't ignore this thing that happened. I can't not cover this. Like, especially stuff that happened on the pro scene or some kind of change of the pro tour. I don't care. I don't follow it. I really just don't want to make those videos. But if they're big enough and I'm like, people need to know about this, it's a significant change. Like, you know, changing the name to Magic Fest. I don't care. Normally I wouldn't have made a video about it, but I kind of have to, you know, and I know it'll get clicks.
It's something people are interested in seeing. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's like, just because I'm not interested doesn't mean my viewers wouldn't be. You know, people are like, oh, this is neat. And I'm like, yeah, it is, I guess, in your opinion. Yeah, but I have no problem with other YouTubers where they just make like how to play better videos. And that's it. And then other people are like just decks, and other people are just news or just variety podcasts. Like it does make sense to do it that way. It's just at the volume I've started to upload to make the money I need to make to pay the bills, I have to cover everything. Otherwise, if it wasn't for that, I probably actually just wouldn't. I'd probably just stick to like 3 categories. So do you follow any other content creators that you can draw inspiration from, and do you have any favorites? A lot of them. I'd say I even like the majority of creators. There's one like whole entire genre and category I can't stand, and it's like the poser wannabe, like pro chasing, you know, pro scene people, where every single video and everything out of their mouth is the meta, the pro scene, the this, I'm gonna go to the GP, and they haven't won anything. They need to shut up. They think they're the world's best, you know, gift to deck building, but they're not, but like everybody's fronting. You know, it's kind of like the MTG finance community where everybody's like, well, I own $100,000 worth of this and I'm always right. And they're all just posing. They're all lying. They're all exaggerating. Like, everybody wants to be that, I've been playing Magic for 10 years, so I'm a pro, even though their skill level is just not there. Like, even mine isn't. Come on. Like, I'm good at deck building, but even to play and make the decisions, I got no business being at a GP or Pro Tour. But there are people even worse than me out there making content where everything's like, oh yeah, this pro, we're all friends, we're all community, I'm part of it. Like, I just can't stand that. Oh my God. But almost any other YouTuber that covers Magic, I like them. So yeah. That's kind of funny actually, because it's like literally anything but the pro scene. I'll be like, yeah, but I watch a shockingly low amount of other Magic content because one, I don't want to be seen as like copying them, either inadvertently or purposely, where I'm like, oh, that is a good idea for a video. Crap, now do I make it or do I not make it? And like the smaller they are, now I feel like, okay, now I could get away with it without anybody accusing me of copying them. Like if it's a news story, everybody knows that's just, it's all about scooping. Who gets it out first?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to make it. If there's spoilers, everybody's going to cover it. If there's a huge change to the rules or a ban, everybody's going to cover it. If there's some huge, like, oh, there's a break-in at this game store, everybody's like, you copied Lion's video. I'm like, as if I wouldn't have covered this. It's a huge news story. So everybody knows news stories are fair game. It's the same as the 24-hour news networks. Everybody copies each other and first in wins, whatever. But when it comes to just like, I don't know, I can't really think of an example, but any other video idea, I don't want to be like, oh crap, I really want to make that now, but I would literally be copying them and then just trying to improve on it. That's so rude. You know, so I purposely don't watch a lot of other MTG YouTubers, but when I see something in my feed, because I'm subscribed to like all of them, and I'm like, ooh, that looks interesting. Like even to me, I'll watch it, you know, and then just actively trying to copy it to not step on any toes. It seems to work, so yeah.
Yeah, so when I do my videos for my channel, because it's I've got a family and I've got work and kids and whatever. Yeah. So it's when I've got the time is when I do my videos. So I'll often do 2 or 3 deck decks back to back, and then just post them separately. Oh, nice. But what'll happen is I'll post a video, and then one of the other 2 or 3 that I've got backed up, someone else will cover that video in a deck tech. So, oh, no. Yeah, so like Strictly Better, MTG, or Saffron Olivet Goldfish, they always do like current, freshly brewed standard decks. So annoying. And they always seem to beat me to the punch whenever I'm like doing videos. So I'm like, God damn it, I did mono red aggro and I play tested, I did all my games and stuff. I've had this deck for weeks. And if you want to post it just before I got it, and it's like, oh man. And then everybody accuses you of copying them. People said, oh, you copied this deck from so-and-so. I'm like, that's one of the few people I'm not subscribed to, because anybody who does heavy deck techs, I don't usually watch it, because it's like I come up with my own ideas. Like, whatever, I'm just not that interested in, oh, here's a new powerful one for the meta. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to come up with my own crazy ideas, whatever. But people have been like, oh, this is shockingly identical to that deck. I'm like, yeah, that's because that's how the cards come together. Get over it. Like, I think they know I didn't copy anyone. Come on. But the other thing is, oh my God, I don't know if you've heard this, but Saffron and Goldfish will copy other people's decks from smaller YouTubers, from forums. They probably maybe design 10% of their decks and the other 90% are stolen. From what I've heard, they do say at the start of the video, they're like, oh, this is a deck from blah. But like, that's all their content. Yeah, it's cool because like decks are decks. It's not like nobody could play it or cover it once one person has invented it. Like, if you were to boil it down, there's probably only 30 decks you can arguably play with at a fairly competitive level right now. So somebody's gonna make a deck on them eventually. You know, and my real obscure ones, that's the ones people call me out for, like my Mono Blue one. People are like, oh, well, this other YouTuber you've never heard of did this on their podcast and covered it. I'm like, well, good for them. They got good taste in decks then. I assure you I did not They come to the same conclusion. Yeah, honestly, no matter what their list is, I'm going to think mine's better. So yeah. It is what it is, yeah. So, I mean, people very rarely accuse me of, like, copying something, but it happens, and you just got to blow it off. I mean, people are always going to have these weird, like, left field complaints about you and accusing you of crap you didn't do. It's just you got to blow it off because it's not a large amount. Just touching on content creation, do you find it rewarding, and do you have any helpful tips or advice to share with anyone looking to get into creating some for their own? I mean, the one thing I take away from it, like, I'm not one of those big, like, oh, look at how many fans I have. Look how much everybody loves me. Like,
all them like 5 million sub like beauty vloggers and Tana Mojo. Like she's all about ego and oh, my fans love me. Like that's her whole driving force. I could care less, but when I help somebody, when somebody's like, this video helped me, I built this deck and won at F&M, or hey, this video about how to be a better Magic player, oh my gosh, this helped me a ton, I was doing this, like you've actually improved my play. Like legitimate, sincere stuff, I love that, because I'm like, that's why I'm making the content, you know? Or when people are just like, oh, the way you cover this news story is like, I didn't even see that side of it. This is an excellent video. I'm like, hey, there we go. So I really like that kind of stuff. I find that very rewarding. But other than that, I'm basically just in it for the money. I'm not like, I gotta get to 100K because I got something to prove. I'm like, I gotta get to 100K because I'll make more money. Like, it's not like I'm all about money because I'm greedy. It's like I'm all about money because I'm barely paying my bills. You know, it's like, I wouldn't be all about money if I was making triple what I was now. Then I wouldn't care. If I'm like, oh, this video is not going to get many views and make money. Too bad, I'm making it anyway because I make enough money. Money's not a big thing to me until, you know, the bills show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so tips for other people is choose what you want to do. There's really only 2 types of YouTube channels. Ones who are all about like growth, popularity, and doing it exactly by the book, and they gotta grow, they gotta be the biggest for any reason, just because it's fun, because they want to be big, because of money, because they want to quit their job. You know, there's all kinds of reasons for it, or they just want to be famous, whatever, or there's the channels that are like, I don't care. I just want a fun community. I just want to chill with people. I'm going to steadily gain subs, but I'm not like, oh, I have to do this to gain more subs and I need to do a giveaway. I need to get this and that. And it's like, if that's what you want to do, I get it. Like that's a different type. But for me, it's all about like, I need the growth just to pay the bills, you know?
Yeah.
Plus it's like, come on, I think I'm the best MTG YouTuber out there. So, you know, would I like to beat some of them on sub count? Yes. But the funny thing is I already got most of them just destroyed on view count and absolutely obliterated on view time. And that's what people don't realize. I am one of the absolute biggest out there if you go by view time. But that's not a public statistic. I've just seen other people screenshot theirs before and I'm like 10 times above them. I'm like, okay, that's funny because you got 5 times my subs. Because I mean, everybody knows subs don't mean anything. Just ask Jeremy. Subs mean absolutely nothing. It just means your channel's older. That's all it means. What it means is views, and more specifically, how long do people invest in their valuable time watching your channel. So that's why I tell people, like, also, you know your schedule, because, like, I'm not married, I don't have family, kids. I can put a lot of time into editing and make a huge video that takes 8 hours to edit and research if I wanted to, but know what you're getting into. If you're a new YouTuber, know that people always say it's harder than you think to make videos, but yeah, it really, really, really is. That's why I make really easy, low-effort videos a lot, because I just don't have the time with my other job, which is why I'm quitting my job, so...
that's why I cover a lot of deck techs and not so much gameplay, because I don't really have the time to do all the play and then edit and find the best games and all that stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah,
deck techs are a lot easier to do than gameplay videos.
Yeah, every overlay in Photoshop, every card, every graphic, every animation is like 3 more minutes, and it's just like, oh my god. Like all the dank meme edits, I just did it because I thought it would be fun and I wanted to learn more about my editor, but it took me, I think, 12 hours to make each of them. So, and they got like no views. They got like 6,000 views. Do people not like memes, Zander? What is wrong with people? Come on.
The people on your channel on Discord seem to like memes a whole lot.
I know, it's all memes. It's just people who are like, oh, we're going to get a spy in your Discord. I'm like, you better like memes because we don't post anything except for shit posting memes.
and the tactical meme bunker.
Oh, yeah. We literally have 2 channels and that's it, you know? Like, you know, you go to other ones, like I've been into Pokemon Go and there's like 50 channels, but on mine there's tactical meme bunker and general. And that's it. And general is pretty much 75% memes anyways. So, yeah. And then just people like talking about their day. Like it's the most generic blah thing ever, but the people are so fun. I love them.
Just touching on the last topic of the this week's podcast, your card to watch, if you'd like to reveal that to everybody.
Oh, here we go. Let me pull it up so I don't misread it here. I remember the name, but I want to get the exact. Here we go. So, the #1 card to watch, both financially and competitively and everything, is a card that people just simply misunderstand. It's starting to catch on. I've seen people playing it, so we're already seeing a little uptick. It's M19. It's a rare Metamorphic Alteration. And so it's a 2-cost aura. It's single blue and then generic, so that's really nice for multicolor. And I mean, a 2-cost. Come on, it's a 2-cost. So it's an aura that enchants a creature that you own or they own. And as it enters the battlefield, choose a creature which bypasses hexproof. And enchanted creature is a copy of the chosen creature. So this card does literally anything. It's offense, defense, and doubling down and scaling and synergy. It's everything for 2 mana. I think the only reason people aren't playing it is because blue's not a huge color. Dimir is kind of a little bit of a second-rate deck right now. It kind of fits in Izzet, but Izzet doesn't always have the creature count for it. It's not like you're going to turn your Drake into something else, and it's not like you have something else to turn into a Drake. But in literally any other deck, so I'm talking right after Allegiance comes out, or Alliances, no, it is Allegiance. I don't remember, whatever the hell the next set is. Ravnica 2. As soon as it comes out, I think anything with Azorius or anything vaguely blue, boom. You know, and if not this one, the next one. So what you can do is, like, I've got that guy where you gain 3 life every time you explore or whatever. So, what is it? Wild Growth Walker? I forgot what the damn card is.
Wild Growth, yeah.
Yeah, so you drop Metamorphic on your, I don't know, Llanowar Elves or whatever. Boom, now you got 2 of them. You know, just like that. Or their biggest, baddest creature, and then they've got a 1/1 goblin sitting next to it. Cool, you have nothing on the field. Now you got a 2-cost almost removal spell, almost pin down. So you take their, 11/4 Drake and turn it into a 1/1 goblin. Boom, done. Or their biggest, baddest activated ability, like, is that Whisper? I still don't remember the name of the damn card. Doom Whisperer?
Doom Whisperer.
Yeah. So you take that and turn it into like a 1/1 bird or something,
Or a Carnage Torrent. You can turn it into a 1/1.
Actually, you can't directly target Carnage with the aura, but you can give yourself a Carnage Tyrant, which is even worse because they can't swing then. So, then you can swing for lethal.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can enchant my own creature, and then the choose makes it. That's when I can target the thing.
Yeah, that's what's weird. So you got normal hexproof rules on the aura targeting, but then you have a complete free-for-all for choosing the creature because it doesn't say choose target creature. So it could have protection from blue, and it wouldn't matter. You could still select it. So it's kind of like an outside the game selection, which is quite odd. It's kind of like name jamming something by name. You just select it, don't have to target it, But yeah, I mean, I did this to give myself 2. What was it? Some angel, I remember. So whatever you have, if you have Metamorphic Alteration, you now have 8 of them in the deck, assuming that one can come into play. It is sequential. You have to have one out first. If you have Metamorphic out but no bomb, you have nothing. But you can use it defensively. So you can either take their Ghalta, now I have a Ghalta, cool, stalemate. Or they have a Ghalta and a Goblin, now they have 2 Goblins, cool, removal almost. And then it's like double down on whatever your deck is doing. So I run it in a full-blown Simic Cloner deck, and my god. And that's the thing with Simic coming out and Azorius, ooh, watch out. I think this card's going to be so hot. I mean, just think about it. Like, if there's a good Sphinx, boom, now you got 2 of them. I mean, it's just so good. I love it. You should start using it, Zander. You should just build a deck all around it.
I'll definitely be sending you the deck list when I do a deck tech on it soon.
Sweet. Well, I've always told people, and they do this all the time on social media, I'm like, take one of my deck lists and make it your own, swap out 5 cards and be like, here's my version of it. It's a framework. Usually most of my decks are built off of 3 cards anyway. So if somebody takes a different take or a different color splash, it's usually better, honestly. So, it's kind of like the whole collaborative deck building, which people used to do on forums and stuff before they all decided to just turn it into a deck measuring contest, which is what it is now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with deck techs. None of them are written in stone. It's not like, no, you've got to play it like this. This is my idea for the deck. Do whatever the hell you want with it, but this is a good starting point.
Oh, yeah. And the number one thing is people are like, why did you build it this way? It clearly, objectively would be better if you did this, this, and this instead. I said, but this is what I'm playing locally in paper, and it beats what other people are playing at my local gaming store. So that's the way I built it. Like, I'd love to throw out a deck tech that's good for the rest of the world, but at the end of the day, I'm building it for me, and I'm just making a video out of it. So it's really just, comes down to, hey, I'm going to, beat people at FNM with this. And I even tell people, if your FNM is more oriented to creature flood, then you might want to swap out this, this, and this. So I've been throwing up alternatives, but yeah, never take a deck tech you see anywhere and make it, oh, it has to be this way. Unless it's like a combo deck or a very, like a math deck where it has to be perfect. Like there's no room to swap out a card. which I've tried not to build them anymore because people don't like them because they keep modifying them and saying they don't work. I'm like, that's because you modified it. But the more wide open concept ones like synergy decks, I'm just like, yeah, throw whatever you want in there. It's a lot looser, you know?
Well, we've reached the end of our time here for this week's podcast. But thank you so much, Desolator, for joining me this week. It's been awesome to talk to you.
You bet, and thanks for translating all the audio to be upside down because you're Australian. So I thought he was British like twice. Like he's literally told me twice. Like a couple months ago, he's like, "No, I'm actually not British. I'm Australian." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then like literally a couple hours ago, I'm like, "So you're British, right?" And he's like, "You idiot." Just kidding. He's way more polite than that. He's Australian. He's way more polite. So yeah, so he's Australian. In case you all didn't know that, fun fact. And I am literally the world's worst like accent, like reader coach person.
For any of the Xmage Patreon, well, thank you for your Patreon's support for starters. For any person listening or watching this video, don't forget to subscribe to Desolator Magic's YouTube channel to watch some great videos. He does a lot of really good content. And yeah, I can't thank you enough for joining me this week. It's been great. Thanks, man.
You bet. I'll see you later.
Thanks for watching, guys.